Progressive Black Talk Media.
WURD Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
We all love the convenience of online shopping, but don't blow your budget by falling for these online tricks. Pay attention to things that might get automatically added to your cart by default, like insurance on concert tickets or travel. Don't fall for the sense of urgency some sites create with countdown clocks or inventory trackers claiming that time is running out to buy. And don't be pressured into buying more than you need just to get the free shipping. If the additional items in your cart are more than the shipping cost, was it really free? Take advantage of how easy online shopping can be, but don't let it take advantage of you. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
In honor of Black History Month, WURD, in collaboration with First World Theater, presents Diamonds of the Diaspora, Black political figures and influencers in their own words. Barbara Jordan was the first Black woman elected to Congress from the South. She served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1973 to 1979. She was on a mission to improve the lives of her working class constituents by sponsoring bills to extend Social Security benefits to homemakers, provide a tax credit to low-income employed and self-employed people, and to combat rising inflation rates. In 1974, Barbara Jordan was a member of the Judiciary Committee. That summer, the committee considered articles of impeachment against President Richard Nixon for the Watergate scandal. Barbara Jordan's opening remarks in the proceedings captivated the room and the world.
Earlier today, we heard the beginning of the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. We, the people. It's a very eloquent beginning. But when that document was completed on the 17th of September in 1787, I was not included in that we, the people. I felt somehow for many years that George Washington and Alexander Hamilton just left me out by mistake. But through the process of amendment, interpretation, and court decision, I have finally been included in we, the people. My faith in the Constitution is whole. It is complete. It is total. Today, I am an inquisitor. Has the president committed offenses and planned and directed and acquiesced in a course of conduct which the Constitution will not tolerate? That's the question. We know that. We know the question. We should now forthwith proceed to answer the question. It is reason and not passion which must guide our deliberations, guide our debate, and guide our decision.
That's a segment of a speech by Barbara Jordan, performed by Lenny Daniels from First World Theater. This Black History Month, we honor the work and the political influence of Barbara Jordan. This Black History Month vignette is brought to you by Philadelphia Gas Works. Visit Philadelphia, Arthur Ross Gallery, PHMC, and Commonwealth Charter Academy.
I need a tax preparer. How should I choose one?
Using a paid tax preparer this year? Before paying someone to do your taxes, make sure they're qualified. Ask about their fees, experience, and training. Check with a Better Business Bureau. Avoid anyone who promises a higher refund. And review your tax return before you sign it. And make sure your preparer signs it too. For more tips, visit irs.gov and search Choosing a Preparer.
Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L. O.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. Here we are, Monday, February 19th. I can't believe it. I know you can't believe it, right? It feels like we are flying through this month. I don't believe it. But I'm happy to be here with you, happy to spend some time, some spirit, some space with you, and some love, of course, at the core of it all, right? So, family, continuing our Black History Month celebration, I want to share with you today's Black History celebratory moment, and it is about none other than Barack Obama and Kamala Harris. In honor of both Black History Month and President's Day, just a little quip, something that you all already know, but just sharing it because it is our history. Barack Obama, born August 4th, 1961 in Honolulu, Hawaii, son of a Kenyan father and American mother, served as the 44th president of the United States of America. And Kamala Harris, born October 20th, 1964, is the first Black and Asian American vice president and is the highest ranking female official in United States history. I know, right? Look at us. Look at us. Family, that's today's Black History celebratory moment. I want to send some birthday love to all of our love bugs who are celebrating a birthday. That's right. Happy birthday to you. Y'all know I tell you all the time that I think we should all be just spoiled absolutely rotten, and I mean it. Okay? I mean it. I mean it. So happy birthday to you if you are celebrating a birthday. And thank you to those of you that joined the live on Friday that I did with Pepper, the crazy Pepper, our beloved Pepper. Just thank you. Thank you so much. And more gratitude to all of our family members that came to my show this past weekend at Wilson's Restaurant and live music venue. We had a ball. You hear me? To those of you that came and to those of you that wanted to do so, just thank you. Thank you so much because you know I love spending some time with y'all. You know I do. You know I do any way that I can. So if you are joining us by way of socials, let us know, family. Send us a comment, if you will. A comment or two, you know, we love it. We love the love any way you care to share it. You can even give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. That's right. That's right, family. And for those of you whose hearts are just a little heavy today, or if your light is shining just a little dimly, just know that I'm sending you extra love and extra hugs. That's what I'm giving to each and every one of you on behalf of your entire tribe and village, just so that you know that you're not alone. Okay? Just know that you're not alone. We're right here. We are right here. Okay? Family, I know that you know that February is a month of love. You see, I've had my little hearts up. I'm going to keep them up for this month. But this is the month of love. Well, WURD has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Our I Love WURD collection features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and a tote bag. And guess what? If you are a member, then you get these brand new items for 50% off in our WURD shop. That's right. So join or renew now so you can get your discount code via email. Simply go to wordradio.com/I love WURD so you can start shopping now and show your love for your favorite radio station. Family, that's wordradio.com/I LUVWURD. All right, some family members are checking in really quickly. Nasir, hey there. He's sending peace and blessings to everybody. Ooh, Nasir, I told you I want to be like you when I grow up, okay? He's on his way to see October London. You know I want to know all about the show because I love me some October London. So I know you're going to have a ball. I know you are. Enjoy and be safe, please. Eric is checking in. Hey there. He shares Happy Fun Day Monday with everybody. Hey, Eric, Happy Fun Day Monday to you. And Malcolm White shares that he is watching and listening from West Mount Airy. Now, you know, Malcolm knows I look for that message every single day. I sure do. It just makes me smile. And Betty, hi, Betty. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Boop. Betty Taylor, that is. She wants to know if I'm related to the Riddicks from South Philly. I sure am. I sure am. Lawrence and David and Gregory and Hortense and Katie and every single one. Yeah, there are a lot of us. I sure am. Yes, I am, Betty. Thank you for joining us. So, family, let's get started. I want to introduce to you our first guest of the evening. Dr. Ranti Aryani is a dentist at Presidential Dental Philadelphia. Dr. Aryani earned her dental degree from the New York University College of Dentistry in 2003. But prior to attending NYU, she practiced dentistry in Indonesia. Dr. Aryani practices the concept of holistic dentistry, which emphasizes a comprehensive and individualized approach to a patient's care, beginning with prevention and early intervention. Let me tell you something. I can't wait to have this conversation. Okay, family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Dr. Ranti Aryani. Well, hello there, Dr. Aryani, and welcome.
Hi, Carol. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. So, family, before we went on air, I was sharing with Dr. Aryani that I'm so excited to have this conversation because I had no idea that there was a holistic approach to dentistry. I had no idea. And thanks to our beloved Stephanie Renee for telling me so. This is how Dr. Aryani was brought to us. When Stephanie told me, I said, oh my goodness, we have to talk with Dr. Aryani. So thank you for obliging and accommodating us.
Of course. Yeah, my pleasure.
So Dr. Aryani, if you wouldn't mind, would you tell us just a little about you?
Sure, yeah. My name is Ranti Aryani, and in Indonesian, Ranti means a cute little tomatoes.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, but I born on Saturday, and according to Indonesian tradition, Saturday and on that particular day, which is 1st of April, the symbol of my birth is a cloud. High above that look down upon people, and there will be like there will be potential for me to become snob as a girl or as a woman. Okay. So then, then in order to balance that, my tribe basically decided that to give me the name of Ranti because this is something that grow from the earth, so they can balance the earth and the sky, and hopefully can balance that. Hopefully I don't have that snob attribute.
Well, I didn't get that from you at all. I've not gotten that from you.
I hope not.
No. I love, you know what? I love the intention, quite honestly, in the name. I love the intention. I mean,
Yeah.
well, for those of you that know, my name is Caroline, but that came from my aunt. I was named after my aunt.
Oh, I
That my-
see.
But I love that. That's now you're gonna have me looking up. Because I was born on a Thursday. I'm going to have to look. I'm going to look up and see what that means.
Okay.
But so thank you. First of all, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, in Indonesia, is dentistry a common practice? Is it like common for young girls or young women to practice dentistry? Is that one of the more common career choices?
Yeah, but I mean, at the beginning, it was studied for men, and we're in Indonesia, we're colonialized all the way up to about 70 years ago. So we just got our independence, and then the first one that get into medical dental usually men, but by the time I was get into dental school, it's almost 100% are women.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so, this is considered as a feminine work, a profession. Indonesia. So, and that's how I introduced the dentist actually by my aunts who saved one of my molar. I was in pain, and then I have some infection going on, and then she saved my tooth, and then the way she act, and then the way she conduct the treatment, it's so powerful yet so feminine. So I was like, oh, I really want to become a dentist when I grow up. And
Wow.
and actually, I love biology too. Since I was in elementary school, I was always love to see plants, how they grow, and then learn a little bit about body and what's the function. And to me, it was just amazing, to see, to hear, ear has certain bone in it that can amplify your the voices and the sounds and all that. So it just biology, and then my aunts, it just drive me toward this profession. And I'm very grateful every single one of them, that I am a dentist.
And I can only imagine. So now, when you say that dentistry it had become a common career choice for young girls or young women, was holistic dentistry a common career choice, or was just dentistry overall?
Actually, just dentistry overall, because the curriculum itself, we are mimic what the Western, curriculum look like, right? So then, and that's continue on. Actually, my education as a dentist in Indonesia continue on to here, and basically we're still, approaching toward. And I'm not bashing anything like that with dental school. I mean, people have to learn from basic first, and then after that, you find your ways, what interests you within dentistry, and throughout one experience to another is finally lead me to holistic dentistry. And I think this is very, very rewarding to me myself, and also to the patients that I serve, because it's just nice to find root causes of a lot of things.
Right. So it was as a result of your aunt fixing your molar that you said you appreciated her delicacy and how gentle her care was with you. That's amazing. That is amazing. So how did you begin to practice how a holistic approach? How did your approach become holistic?
Yeah, actually, this is quote unquote by accident, and there is no accident, right?
Right.
Life
That's
happens,
right. That's right.
Before I become holistic dentist, I'm a cosmetic dentist and general dentist, basically. And I took care of one patient. He got really worn down teeth, and I see that there's some crowding going on. So then I fix him with the Invisalign to fix the bite, and then all of the teeth that already worn down, and then I replace it with veneers. And just couple months afterward, one veneer fell out. And then after that, I fix it. Okay. But this is like, very curious thing to experience, because I actually already correct the bite. We call this like a vertical dimension that is, in harmony with the joints, the muscle, and everything like that. Everything, there is no more, hard spots or anything like that. So then 2 weeks afterward, another veneer fell out. So, and then I fix it. And then I start, thank goodness, I have really, really strong relationship with God. So then I asked God, God, what happened? How should I help, my patients, in this situation? And then 2 weeks afterward, just quote unquote happened to be that I went to one of the seminar. And then in that seminar, I only have about 10 minutes left from the break, because, I had to do my prayer in that afternoon. And then I had to had my lunch, and then I only have 10 minutes to see the vendors that join the seminars. So then there is one vendor, I don't know how, I just straight through that, and then he asked, do you want to join our course in Las Vegas. And so, okay, it's for free. You just have to buy the tickets, and then you're going to be there. So lo and behold, in that seminar, it's actually talk about airway dentistry and dentistry that related to airway.
Oh,
so
wow.
There is a very close relationship between airway, breathing, dentistry. And then one of the signs people clenching and grinding their teeth, okay, one of them is because of airway issues. Namely, can be upper respiratory resistance syndrome or apnea. So then it was like, oh my gosh, maybe this is it. So then I called the patient back. Once I came back from Las Vegas, I called them back and I asked, do you have sleep apnea? And he said, Doc, I wrote down, in
and then it's in his chart. Like
I use CPAP. And at that time, I was not really, I heard about CPAP,
right.
But, who knows what CPAP is all about, and who knows how this related. So then, oh my God, so you have sleep apnea, and that's why you're clenching and grinding, because you try to breathe, you're being choked.
Oh my goodness.
You're clenching and grinding. Research has shown that this is one way for you to open up your airway. So you raise your sleep from deep sleep to the lighter sleep, just for you to be able to breathe. You activate your brain, you activate your heart. So instead of having resting, right? Rest and digest, we call this, when we're sleeping, that there is a nerve system, that...
I'm sorry, Dr. Aryani. I'm listening to the story and I'm completely forgetting about the time. We have to take a commercial break. I'm so sorry. Family, listen, you see me? You see me, family. I'm all into the story. Listen, we are going to take just a short commercial break. Know that the phone lines are still open and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. We are coming right back.
Yay.
February is not just Black History Month. It's also American Heart Month. Did you know that heart disease is the #1 killer of all Americans? Join WURD Radio President and CEO Sarah M. Lomax for Heart to Heart, Real Talk on Cardiovascular Health, a special on-air symposium Wednesday, February 21st from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We will have an expansive discussion about all matters of the heart with medical experts who will discuss the connection between hypertension, diabetes, stroke, and heart disease, and how to enhance your heart health through diet, exercise, and stress reduction. We will also be exploring the emotional side of the heart: love, compassion, grief, and relationships. Tune in on Wednesday, February 21st from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You won't want to miss this life-saving, life-affirming conversation. For more information, go to wordradio.com. Brought to you by Penn Medicine and Keystone First.
PHMC is proud to commemorate Black History Month and be a part of Philadelphia's dynamic culture. We celebrate our diverse and innovative workforce every day. PHMC is a nonprofit public health institute and invites you to explore careers in public health and join the efforts to make an impact in the community. Benefits include a pension plan, tuition discounts, and reimbursements, as well as generous paid time off. Learn about Public Health Management Corporation. Log into mypublichealthcareer.org to view all open positions and find your place in public health.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Words of empowerment.
I am Vera Portier, and I am the founder of Every Heartbeat Counts. Yes, younger generation, please. Life is short. Love one another. Take care of one another. Advocate for one another. Be kind. We're better together. We are better together. Talk to your parents. Reach out to somebody in 100 Black Men. You are loved. I know you feel like we're a little disconnected. I'm willing to talk to you and connect with you and just get on the same wavelength. We love you.
This is Words of Joy and Empowerment on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Audio provided by Love Now Media. These Words of Joy and Empowerment are brought to you by Wells Fargo, Mainline Health, and the Pennsylvania Lottery.
long nose. What's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Ranti Aryani. And I was so excited to have Dr. Aryani come speak with us because she's a holistic dentist. She practices holistic dentistry. I should say that. That sounded better. She practices holistic dentistry. And I wanted her to come and talk with us about just what that means and what it is. And before the commercial break, she was sharing with us, well, basically about how the body, is so connected and how one thing affects the other, because she was sharing about airway dentistry and about her introduction to that, if you will. Before we continue that conversation, I do want to share Lillian Ransom Wright is joining the conversation. Hi there, beloved. So happy to have you join us. Clifton. Hey, cuz Clifton Washington is joining the conversation as well. And Betty, yes, that's my cousin. Renee Riddick is my cousin. She's living down here in Florida now, and she pops in every now and again. Miss Audrey, hello, beloved. She sends greetings to everyone. And she shares that she's sending prayers to the residents of the apartment fire at 1600 Parish and Ridge. She also shares that she's thankful that ladder number 1 reopened on December of 2023 because it was currently able to obtain aid from 100 firefighters, able to evacuate with no lives lost. Video of the fires on every local television station. The fire occurred on the 3rd floor. The ceremony that took place in December of 2003 was with President Joe Biden, Governor Josh Shapiro, Mayor Jim Kenney. December 11th, 2023. Ladder number 1 had been out of service since 2009. So praise God. Thank you, God, for the fact that there were no lives lost. Thank you, God. Malcolm shares that he has a tooth where a crown has started but never finished because of calcification at the bottom of the tooth. And the dentist said that he did not have the right drill to finish the work. Also, he shares that he maxed out his insurance at the time and was told to go to a dental school, but he was not sure if he could get his work finished there. He shares it's been a few years now, and he's been keeping the tooth clean with peroxide as much as he can until he can get to the Temple Dental School along with insurance. But he's been worried about that. Is there anything he can do in the meantime until he goes to get that taken care of, or would you say that's?
Yeah, number 1, I don't really recommend to use peroxide, all the time. Maybe once a week, but not more than that, because you can create imbalance inside microbiome inside the mouth, and then you can wind up with the fungus on your tongue. It's gonna be black tongue. So you don't want to do that, but keep it clean, brush, floss, and then also watch what you eat. That would be good. And then definitely after several years, we need to come back to have another comprehensive evaluation and then see what's the status of that tooth. If the tooth is still alive or is already basically become non-vital or dead. And so then we can approach, appropriately what to do next afterward.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you, Dr. Aryani. Eric shares, hello, Dr. Aryani. Welcome to the WURD platform. He shares, welcome. He shares that his top front teeth are slightly crooked. He wants to do Invisalign or just have them removed and replaced because the teeth are healthy. No dentist wants to remove them. Why is that? They say if they're in good condition, leave them alone. But his wish is to have a near perfect Hollywood smile. Eric, you have a beautiful smile. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, if it's only slightly crooked, you can do Invisalign, and you'll be really be happy to save your teeth. Number one, the teeth, is very important organ in our body that is full of nerves, that connect it right away to your brain. So it can senses the heat, it can senses the heat, the cold, some of the taste as well. So if you remove that organ, it's like you're removing one of your finger. How is that? Yeah. And then so that also the connection to the brain is become disconnected too. So that one part of brain that connected to each one of our teeth right here is missing. So
Sure.
we really don't want to do that unless it's non-safable because of cavities, because it's already broken down, but other than that, and besides, this is like a same thing, if you have one finger cut off, how are you going to function, right? The same thing, with our teeth. Each one of our teeth has its own function. The front teeth is cutting, the canine is to break it down even more, and then the molar to chew. If you don't do those process properly, then you wind up gulping your food improperly, and then that means you can have stomach issues or digestion issues, and all other condition from that. So make sure that you have a good consultation to see what your options are, and then if we can save the teeth, that will be same thing like saving your one finger.
Right. Oh, thank you for that, Dr. Aryani. I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines. James has been waiting to join the conversation. Hi there, James. Happy Monday to you, and thank you for your patience. Thank you for calling too.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. The name Aryani, it's so unique. I never heard of Aryani, Doc.
Oh. Yeah, it's Indonesian.
You can put it on a piece of clothing, sneaks, whatever. I'll buy it.
You buy it. He said you could put it on a piece of clothing, or he said he'd buy it. The name Aryani. He loves your name.
Thank you.
It is a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Well, fast forward. I've seen pictures of people throughout the years. They have the perfect white teeth. No caps, no surgery. What is the key? What is the diet to this?
Yep. Very, very good observation and and question basically, because it go back to there is a doctor named Dr. Weston Price, okay, in 1900 and early 1900, that he did research in indigenous people throughout the world, throughout continents, and then no matter where he went, okay, whether this is in Africa, in in Pacific, in Asia, they all have same thing in common.
All over.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they all have white, broad, white teeth, no cavities, and they don't have dentists too. Okay, so then what happened is based on his research, once you introduce a Western diet, full of carbohydrates, sugar, and processed food, very very soft, then and in the first generation of the world, about 25% of population has crooked teeth, and then along with that gum disease, along with that cavities, and then after that, the next generation came. 50% of their population start to have this, and then afterward is 75%, and now crooked teeth is very common in our society because of the diet that we've been eating. Okay, so if you ask me why is that like that, there's so many factors now, okay, that prevent us to express our own DNA. Our own DNA want us to have 32 teeth, white, no cavities, no gum disease. Okay, but extraction, third molars, is very common now. Okay, and also crooked teeth. How many children now? Maybe about 85, 90, 95% kids need to have braces. Because the underlying cause, and we talk about holistic now, is underlying cause is because of narrow jaw. Why the jaw is narrow? Because of a lot of things, because of diet, okay, or because of habit. Okay, a lot of kids nowadays breathing to the mouth, and when we talk about mouth breathing, is really damaging as far as the growth of the jaw, top, bottom, and the joints as well. And then also can be because of tongue tie. Okay, tongue tie that is not being released. So because tongue is very important, it's the strongest muscle in our head and neck face. Okay, and then if the tongue is grown properly and there is no tongue tie, for instance, okay, is positioned right at the roof of the mouth. So every time baby swallow, it's about 2,000 times a day in and night and day. Okay, that gentle pressure from the tongue is actually shaping the jaw. So
wow.
Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, so the tongue is very important because not only is the organ that have shaped the jaw, which in turn, if the jaw grow properly, the airway will grow properly. And so when the airway grow properly, that means kids will not have issues. In my practice, a lot of our kids patients, they have this airway issue. They snore. They start to snore, grinding, bedwetting, ADHD, aggressive behavior.
Sure.
All of this stem from inability to sleep properly because they don't have enough room for the tongue, and because of that, the tongue is blocking their airway, and because of that, when kids cannot sleep properly, then this is, all of this downstream effect happen. To answer your question, yes, a long time ago, this indigenous people, all of us actually have wide, broad smile, and there is no dentist because of our diet. So now that's when the holistic part coming. When I see children come, if they have cavities, we not only fix the cavities, but we try to find out, what is it? Okay, is the tongue tight? Because if your tongue is tight, you cannot do your cleaning, with your tongue. Okay, and tongue is also organ that help to breathe to the nose, completely. So the kids that have a tongue tie, for instance, okay, they're going to keep open breath to their mouth, and because of that, the mouth is dry, and because of that, they get cavities easily. So this is where the holistic part come from. Okay, is it the diet? If the diet, then what kind? Okay, so by getting to the root causes, of this question, asking the question, see the signs. Okay, what type of cavities is it in the front? In the back, is in the side, all of this actually give us a clue on what is it, what is the root cause of this. And that's where the customized plan coming, because everyone come with different history or story. So there's a lot of
factors.
Exactly. Yeah. So
wow, James, you asked the question.
Yeah, I say, like I said, it's a loaded question. Thank you for a good question.
Thank you, James. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a loaded question. So, Dr. Aryani, I have so many questions. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, I want to say welcome. Just welcome. And thank you. Thank you for joining us. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. I'm curious to know about wisdom teeth. I don't hear as many conversations about wisdom teeth nowadays, but I know at one point in time it was just stressed. When we were younger, you have to have them removed, and especially if they were impacted. I'm curious to know if that's still the case. Is there still an urgency to remove wisdom teeth, and why?
Yeah, it is still the case because there's not enough room in the jaw. The jaw is not grow properly. So then, these teeth are, growing, crooked. And because of that, if sometimes they come out, part of that still covered by gum, and then this create a pocket area that food can get stuck in there and cause inflammation, and also the tooth itself can the wisdom teeth can force itself out, and then so make the other teeth to get crooked. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why in our practice we see patients as early as actually 2 years old, just to determine, right? Yeah, to see if there is any of these changes, that there is underdeveloped jaw. We see what kind of diet and everything like that, so we can try to optimize the growth while they're still growing. We want to do the good growth. That way, hopefully, we don't have to do wisdom teeth extraction. And by the time they're 12 years old, you don't need to have any braces anymore, because all of the growth is already taken care of. In this growing time.
Oh my goodness, there's so much to digest, so much. Family, when we come back, Dr. Aryani is going to share with us the locations of the practice. But like I said, right now we're going to take just a short commercial break. So stay with us because we are coming right back.
How much for the bouquet of flowers?
They are $6.99. Great choice.
Thanks.
For someone special?
Something like that.
Well, if you really want to make a good impression, why not throw in some lottery tickets? Add some scratch-offs to the bouquet.
Okay.
Sure. You give your loved one a chance to win money. If they win, they might even share it with you.
Never even thought of that. You know what? Let me get a few of those scratch-offs for the bouquet.
Smart man. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Keep on scratching.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Problem gambling? Helpline 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
How deep is your love? How deep is your love?
February is a month of love, and WURD has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Our I Love WURD line features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and a tote bag. And guess what? If you're a member, then you can get those brand new items for 50% off in our WURD shop. Join or renew to get your discount code via email. Go to wordradio.com/ILoveWURD to start shopping now and show your love for your favorite radio station. That's wordradio.com/ILUVWURD.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Welcome back, family. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Ranti Aryani in this hour, and we are talking about holistic dentistry. I do want to share, Dr. Aryani, that Eric he expresses his gratitude. He shares, "Thank you. You are the very first dentist that has given a valid, sensible reason as to why he should keep his teeth and just have them straightened with Invisalign or braces." Malcolm shares that he just might have to call you. He hopes you take his insurance. And he also shares he's already had his wisdom teeth removed years ago. Well, Malcolm, I was talking about me that time. I was asking about me. But to that point, I do want to share with our family members, if you don't mind, Dr. Aryani,
Sure.
what the location of the offices, both offices, for
Okay.
our family members who may have an interest in looking you up or going to see to
Sure.
the dentist.
Yeah. Our office is in 5058 City Avenue. It's in Philadelphia, PA 19131. And it's in City Avenue and 51st Street, close to Dunkin' Donuts, that close to St. Joe. You see a big dental sign. That's our practice.
And would you share the number, the telephone number as well, please?
Sure. It's 610-664-1641.
So, family, for those of you who are joining us via socials, I did share that information on our socials. Dr. Ranti Aryani is located at 5058 City Avenue in Philadelphia, PA 19131. The telephone number is 610-664-1641. We're going to go to our phone lines now. One of our family members has been waiting to talk with us. Hello, and thank you so much for calling. And thank you for your patience.
Hello, sisters. This is Rick calling you long distance from Germany.
Rick, it's been a while. So happy to talk with you.
Hi, Rick.
Hello to the good doctor. My question is about the doctor's personal medical knowledge. Where did you say she practiced dentistry before coming to America?
Indonesia. Mm-hmm.
Did you discover any relationship to tuberculosis, and particularly tuberculosis of the bones, in relation to any of your patients' dental medical situation?
Yeah, I never really encountered tuberculosis of bone, but I do pay very good attention to the bone. And that's why we take a digital X-ray to determine if there is any bone diseases inside of our jaw. Okay, so that's very important. So yeah, to answer your questions, I never really see that case, but I do see if there is any changes in the bone. Okay, talk about the wisdom teeth extraction, for instance. Okay, if the wound is not properly taken care of, it can create like in the middle part of it. Okay, the healing cannot may not complete. And if this not complete, there is no pain on that, but it can be a source of bacterial infection that's spewing out the toxin, chronically, throughout our body. So I pay attention to the third molar areas to see if there is any unhealing bone. Okay, and also I take a look at the density of the bone itself, because that can be a sign of osteoporosis, or or if there is any gum disease, what caused the gum disease or bone disease, that you lost bone. Some people aggressively that got to the point that the teeth getting loose. So if there is any of this situation, then I will investigate that, and then if we can treat it, in our practice, we do. But if it's beyond my expertise, then I know where to find a specialist who taking care of that. Do you ask that question because you have any particular condition or concern regarding that, sir?
I just want to say to you in closing that American history is different from what has been done around the world. Americans practiced slavery, and they experimented on the slaves. Eugenicists experimented with tuberculosis, and oral ingestion of tuberculosis there in America. So there are a few African Americans who have been poisoned with tuberculosis over 3-4 generations and passed down through birth. Tuberculosis was spread by America into Russia, and so this through food aid. So there are many people walking around who don't know they have damaged bones because tuberculosis, oral ingestion, and this impacts not only their bones but their teeth. And I think you find people with damaged bones in America as you practice.
Right. Well, thank you so much for bringing it up. This is something that very interests me, definitely. And like I say, I always watch, the changes of the bone inside that. And I know that bone diseases can be a source of infection as well. So I will pay more attention to that. If I find any relation with TB or anything like that, definitely I will investigate more. But like I said, so far, I never see that TB that related, to the bone loss and stuff like that. But yes, I do taking care of bone diseases as well. Thank you, sir, for the information.
Rick, thank you for calling. As always, thank you so much. In the few minutes that we have left with you, Dr. Aryani, would you share with us what some of the benefits are of holistic dentistry?
Yeah, since I feel like I get it from the feedback from my patients, right? What they feel is that we got to the root causes or whatever issue that I can find inside the mouth that's relating to the overall health. So for instance, people don't know that they have sleep apnea, but they have been having this high blood pressure that uncontrolled. Turned out to be that, patient doesn't sleep properly. So then, we got into that. Or, as far as the children, for instance, okay, undiagnosed this sleep apnea, okay, or sleep apnea can happen with children as well. It affects so many things, of the growth, development, psychological development and all that. So the feedback that I get from my patients is that they're very thankful that there is such a knowledge and there is way to be healthy naturally, and I can see that our body is so amazing once you get rid of hurdle that make you healthy. You just direct the healing and the growth toward optimum health. So that's, I think, that's what satisfying for me to become a holistic dentist, is because we got to the root cause of it, not only taking care of the symptoms, okay, so you can get healthy, so you can get you can be away from my chair, right?
I love that. Dr. Aryani, well, I do want to share with you, Malcolm shares that he's had a bone marrow transplant. He hopes that won't be a problem. Barbara Jackson shares, Aryani is a great dentist.
Hi, Miss Barbara. I know Miss Barbara.
And Tamika Noureddin shares, asks, does non-fluoride make a difference? And also, does charcoal toothpaste make a difference as well?
Yeah, one thing that we don't use anymore in our practice is fluoride, okay? Because yes, fluoride has a benefit of strengthening up the teeth, but no, I mean, we don't know how much we're gonna ingest, okay?
Sure.
And research has been shown, fluoride can also weaken the bone, and if you ingest it a lot, it's become neurotoxin, right? I mean, this is already published, okay? I mean, but my philosophy is, if we don't need it, if there is any better alternative, why we use fluoride, right?
Sure,
there are several instances that I have to use fluoride, but it's just going to be on the surface itself.
Sure.
But
I want to interject. I'm so sorry because we have 1 minute left. So your opinion on charcoal toothpaste, is that good for us as well?
Charcoal is good. Make sure that it's ground down properly too. It's not like rough. like a
Oh,
big.
it's okay.
Mhm.
Make sure the texture is not, it's not rough. Dr. Aryani, family, I want to share with you before we go to commercial break, because we have to let Dr. Aryani go. Dr. Ranti Aryani is located at 5058 City Avenue, Suite A in Philadelphia, PA 19131. The telephone number is 610-664-1641. She did share that there is another office as well in Maryland, but you can find that on the website. But for those of you who are interested, go and check out Dr. Aryani. Dr. Aryani, I think you might see me in there. I have an interest now. I have a huge
Very
interest.
good.
But thank you so much for
Come back,
coming to
Miss
visit with
Carol.
us.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you so,
Thank
so,
you.
so much. We hope you'll come back. Will you come back to visit with
Of
us?
course, of course.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I love your family. I hope I can be part of the family too.
You absolutely are. Are you kidding? Yes, you are. Our new family member. Family, listen, we're going to take a commercial break. But when we come back, we've got another extraordinary human being for you to meet. So stay with us because we are coming right back. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on Reality Check.
There's young people that really think that at a certain age, you just don't have desires no more. And some of us as elders perpetuate these false notions. Now when they children, I understand. You protect children from adult conversations and realities, but that's why we need to gradually have conversations. Because there's some people right now that's, 30 years old and they still talking to each other. Like, no, it's both of our responsibility. And even as a parent, I try little by little to face the reality that these are young people that are about to be teenagers and then young adults. And I try to communicate, accordingly to be, effective. Because ain't nothing worse than you thinking that the parents and the elders are out of touch. Man, if you go through some of these high schools and middle school hallways and hear the conversations, if you look on some of these devices and check the search history, you wasting your time lying. You wasting your time if you're doing all that lying. You might as well keep it real today. Now, back maybe 30 years ago, before there was the internet, you might have had a chance to maintain that the Truman Show, Matrix, Alice in Wonderland, Planet of the Apes type illusion up there. But right now, that might be part of the problem.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Reality Check on WURD Progressive. Black Talk Media.
Family Therapy Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille iJoy.
Make voting a family affair. Include the children. Help them to care. We register. We vote. We must. I register. I vote. I must. Yes, indeed, everybody. Voting is a family affair. We gather together, no matter the weather. Stand tall now. Don't you waste your vote. Some folks, they might not be woke, but not you, because voting is a family affair. This is Dr. Lucille iJoy. Register, register, register. We vote, we must. Come on now. Register, we vote, we must. This is Dr. Lucille iJoy.
Tune in to EcoWord Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 10 a.m. for the PA Lottery EcoWord Fact of the Month. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at soundidouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
We are the home of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
And we are back. Welcome back, family. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with Carol Riddick, yours truly, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Now, I know I've been saying this to you and you've heard the commercial, but I'm going to tell you one more time, okay? I know that you know that February is a month of love. Well, WURD has an exclusive new collection for this month only. That's right. Our I Love WURD collection features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and also a tote bag. And guess what? If you are a member, then you can get these brand new items for 50% off in our WURD shop. So family, join or renew now so you can get your discount code via email. All you have to do is go to wordradio.com/I love WURD so you can start shopping and you can show your love for your favorite radio station. All you have to do is go to wordradio.com/ILUVWURD. That's all you have to do. That's it. I do want to share that some more of our family members are checking in. The beautiful Joanne Dorman sends peace and blessings to everybody. And Ayatunde, I'm so sorry because I just saw your message, but good evening to you as well. And thank you so much on the segment. Thank you. Our beloved Ms. Rosalind is joining us as well. And you know we share love and peace and blessings with you too. So family, I was sharing with you that I have another exciting, everybody's exciting. I believe in all of our stories. Yes, we are. We're exceptional. But I have another exceptional human being to introduce you to, a new family member. His name is Alexander, aka Alex Cherin. And he's a lawyer and author living in Southern California. He is the author of the book, The Mighty 690. It's a book that details a true event when an AM radio station in California hosted a treasure hunt for $50,000. What? His work has been celebrated by the Los Angeles Press Club, and he's been recognized nationally as a panelist on CNN and Fox News. Family, I invite you to the conversation with Alexander Cherin. Well, hello there, Alex. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, Carol. That was a very warm introduction. I'm proud to be a new member of the family, so thank you for welcoming.
Well, we love having you here. Yes, we do. Well, now let me ask you. Now, is it okay to refer to you as Alex, or should I call you Alexander?
Alex is fine. Only my mother refers to me as Alexander, and
okay.
My publishing title uses Alex is just fine. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. And once again, welcome. This story, first of all, it sounds so exciting to me, but it takes me to the movie. What was it? It's a mad world or something like that. The old movie. Do you remember that movie?
Going way back. Yeah.
It used to be it was one of my favorite movies growing up. I just thought it was so entertaining. But this story, first of all, tell us about you, Alex, because I'm so excited to know about the book and about this story. But please share with our family members a little more about you.
I really appreciate that. So born and raised in Southern California, at a time where Southern California is very much kind of going through a transition. So I am a blue collar kid, but grew up very blessed to grow up exposed to a lot of different people, a lot of different backgrounds, and I really love the time and the place where I grew up. Schooled in Southern California, went to the Midwest for college, and came back to law school and practiced law for a number of years, and realized that it wasn't my thing. And so I got into politics instead, and do some consulting in that world, but always had a need to write, and so that's sort of the latest chapter in my life book.
I love it. You said I got into law. Now listen, it takes a lot to get into law because you just don't dip your toe in. You just don't jump into law and then jump out. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, kudos to you, number one, for listening to you and for deciding to follow that path, because now you're here talking with us about your book. For how many years were you in law, if you don't mind me asking?
No, not at all. So I practiced for about 15 years, and I was really in the trenches. I was doing litigation in Southern California, so I was in court most days of the week, and fighting with other lawyers, and
Yeah.
really isn't the healthiest of lifestyles. And so I was raising a family at the time, so obviously there was a need to do that and make a living and put food on the table. But
Sure.
when I got to a point in the career where I realized that my health and sort of my well-being was a little bit more important than winning motions in front of a judge, I made the decision to sort of transition and do something else. I do practice a little bit on the side, and like I said, I do some consulting. I'm a partner in a firm in Los Angeles, and we do some political consulting. But being a writer has always sort of been my aspiration, and now at the tender young age of 53, I'm able to do that.
Yes, at the tender young age of 53. I love that. I'm going to put that in my pocket, Alex. I'm going to hold on to that one. Well, here on Love and Life, we are advocates of self-care. We are advocates of following one's own path. And we are supporters of one another, especially, when we were at the tender young age of 53. And we talk about these changes that we make in life. I love that. I love that. So, okay, now I want to know all about this book. I've shared with you and our family members how did you come to this story, or how did you come to write about this experience? This happening.
Yeah, so this is inspired by actual events, as the book The Mighty 690 mentions in the first couple pages. So it was an actual AM radio contest that I listened to in the summer of 1981 when I was 10 years old. And it always stuck with me. We were sort of at a time and place where radio was sort of everything. TV hadn't really taken off. I mean, there were 6-7 channels back in the early 80s in big urban setting, but there was no cable TV, there was no streaming, there was no internet. So radio was really it. That's how you identified yourself. And I remember being fascinated as a kid, and I grew up in Long Beach, California. And Long Beach was a very diverse city, and still is. In fact, I think it's by census tract one of the most diverse cities in the United States. I'm very proud of that. I was exposed to the effect and the impact that something like radio had to bring people together. And so when radio stations like this would do contests, and they did it so that they could boost ratings, but when they did these contests, I really watched and I observed on what an impact it had on people and an impact to bring people together. So I always write about that.
I was reading just a little, just an excerpt about the individuals who were searching for this money, and each one of their stories was such each one of the individuals had a story of their own that was of huge interest to me, though that is of huge interest to me. Was that one of the things that drew you to this particular story?
Absolutely. And so, this station, the Mighty 690, was an actual radio station, and it broadcast from Tijuana, Mexico. So even though the broadcast area, throughout Southern California, the actual tower was south of the border, and it had this huge radius, that it blasted music into. And So it hit every kid and listener from San Diego all the way up to the San Fernando Valley, which is just a huge area. And within that encompassed lots of people, lots of different backgrounds, socioeconomic, just a huge cross section of Southern California. But these people that are represented in the book, and again, this is a fictionalized account, were all based on people that I grew up with or that I was exposed to. And I really wanted to sort of represent the beauty of sort of that cross-sectionality in Southern California at the time. I think it was one of the last times for me personally that a big metropolis like Los Angeles or Southern California was able to, or get close enough to having all people kind of believe that they could share in a dream, like making money or getting a good job or moving to the suburbs or getting their kids well educated, whatever.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to represent that with these characters.
How about that? You said in 1981. Yeah, it was about that time. When it was, but I don't know that I've heard of a contest since that has, especially like this type of contest, a treasure hunt, if you will.
Right.
I don't know that I've heard of one since. Have you?
No, I mean, they were very popular if you go all the way back to the 50s and the 60s, and I touch on that a little bit in the book. But this concept of a radio contest assumes that you've got enough sort of centralized interest in one or another. And, the unfortunate or fortunate reality, depending on how you look at it, because there's lots of pros and cons, is in today's streaming world, I don't think you have that sort of that sort of centralization necessary to have a contest like that. Everybody, it's so stratified. Everybody can listen to or watch whatever they want on demand. And we don't have those water cooler conversations or these, ideas or concepts like a radio contest that used to be.
So were you able to interview any of the individuals that were actually in this contest or the individuals about which you write?
Such a great question. So the book is based on an article that I wrote for the Orange County Weekly a few years ago, which was a fact-based article about the actual contest. And I was not able to locate any of the people who participated. And my book talks about that. But I was, however, able to locate and talk to a gentleman named Ted Zeigenbush, who was the station director at the Mighty 690 at the time. And he walked me through that contest. So I was very fortunate to get to talk to him.
I love that. As I was reading, because of course I went to the website, I said, okay, I need to know more about this. I need to know so much more again, because here we are. I don't know when the last time was that I heard of a radio station offering that kind of money.
Right.
And in this type of contest, usually it's as a result of some other type of contest, if you will. But for, if you like a treasure hunt, something, and it's been so long. And of course, as I shared with you, my mind went to the movie. It's a mad world, and we all know how long ago that movie came out. So we all know. Family, for those of you who are just joining, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with Alex Cherin. We are talking about his novel. Yes, we are. So when you look for it, I'm going to share with you that his name will read Alexander Hamilton Cherin. I don't want you to look for Alex Cherin and say, well, Carol lied. She did not. When you look for the novel is titled The Mighty 690. And it reads a novel by Alexander Hamilton Cherin. I'm going to read a little of that. But before I do, I'm going to read a little bit of what I found. But before I do, I'm going to share that our family members are checking in. Drina, hi, beautiful. Drina Ross shares that she is watching from the sweetest sides of Detroit, Michigan. Well, welcome, beloved. Joey Dixon, one of our beloveds, is joining us as well, and he shares peace with all of us. Thank you so much, Joey. And we send it back to you as well. And Eric Eric shares, "Hey, Alex, welcome to the WURD platform. I was a freshman in high school when this hunt was to take place. It's like a modern day reality TV show. It's pure brilliance to revisit such a nostalgic memory." It is. How about that? Because it just doesn't feel, it doesn't seem like it's real. And again, like I keep referring to the movie because that was that's the only reference that I have of an instance like this taking place. And you think of entertainment,
Right.
more
Right.
so. So do we know who the actual, well, do we know if anyone found the money? And if so, who did?
They did. And first of all, that last comment, thank you so much for that shout out. That gives me such validation that other people remember that contest. And obviously had an impact all these years later. As it turns out, the cash, the prize at the end of the treasure hunt was not actually cash as promised. It was a note that said that, hey, call the radio station and we'll work out giving you the 50,000. So this concept of having money buried in a sack where you had to dig it up did not happen. I prefer that it did happen, and that's, not to give too much away, but that's obviously what I write about in the book. But in the actual contest, it was a piece of paper that was hidden behind a license plate at the Redondo Beach, California pier. And the last clue gave the whereabouts as to the car and the license plate. And if you flip the license plate, there was a note from the Mighty 690. It said, call the station during these hours and we'll coordinate meeting with you and you can come in and claim the $50,000.
It was a note.
Yes. Yeah. Sort of a little disappointing if you're thinking that there's going to actually be cash.
A lot of disappointing.
Yeah.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling some disappointment right now as we're talking about it. I'm feeling disappointment for those individuals because I'm sure they did a lot.
They did. No, they did. And, you have to remember, too, this is a time, in 1981, $50,000 is a lot of money.
Yes. When you don't have it, $50,000 is a lot of money, period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, one of the things I try to get at in this book is, this contest really appealed to people who wanted it because it was a novelty, right? A station that I listened to was having a treasure hunt. But there was really a subsection of people in Southern California at that time that needed $50,000. And I know that they listened to this station and I know they participated in this contest, not as a novelty, but, out of a little bit of desperation. And so I try to tap into that a little bit in this book. Southern California, gets portrayed, in popular culture and TV and film around the 1980s as being the golden state. And, the American dream and the California dream sort of at an intersection, at a crossroads. And it was that to some extent, but there was a little bit of a dark underbelly to Southern California at that time because that dream didn't work out for a lot of people.
Wow.
And, I really, again, wanted to kind of tap into that thought for the book.
One of my friends, she texted me. She said, "I knew it. I knew it. I knew that they weren't going to find the money. I knew there was going to be something to this story." I was so hopeful, Alex. I was so hopeful you were going to say, "No, they found it. There was a suitcase. There was a briefcase
or a
with
duffel
this, something." I was so hoping. I'm so mad. She just texted me. She said, "I knew it," with all of these exclamation marks.
Well, sometimes, in my article in the OC Weekly tried to touch on this. Sometimes the way we remember these events aren't, factually accurate, but I don't know if we're any worse off for them not being factually accurate. In fact, I think sometimes we're better off having remembered them in a certain way that may not be true. It helps perpetuate a narrative and a dream in this sense. So, it's more important that people think that there's $50,000 buried in cash than maybe in actuality.
No, we want the $50,000, Alex. We don't want the smoke and mirrors. Listen. What Malcolm shares. Look, he shares. I could use 50 grand now.
Right.
Yes. We don't want a note, Alex. We don't want the thought. Gary is joining us. Hi there, Gary. Gary Bryant, one of our beloveds. He shares good evening with the entire family. And we receive that. Thank you so much. Family, we are talking with Alex Cherin. We're talking about his novel titled The Mighty 690. And this novel is about, well, it actually details the true event when an AM radio station in California hosted a treasure hunt for $50,000. This was back in 1981, before anybody says when, because I don't want to give the false impression that it was any time close to today. But this book, what I did do was go to the website. And if I might read this paragraph, if that's okay with you, Alex.
Absolutely.
It reads, a Holocaust survivor facing eviction, a schoolboy struggling with his identity, a single mother who is on the verge of being exposed for embezzlement, and a speedway daredevil whose bruised body and fragile ego are beyond repair, all find themselves scouring the Southern California landscape for $50,000 in buried cash, the grand prize of a struggling AM radio station's contest. Unknown to each other, but bonded by a common desire for redemption, each is a willing participant in a treasure hunt caught between nostalgia and desperation. That right there. Oh, I have so many questions. Family, listen, it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. But when we come back, I'm going to ask my questions. I know you probably have questions as well. Don't forget, the phone lines are still open, and you can feel free to give us a call at 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And don't forget that you feel free to comment on our socials. I will do my best to read it aloud on the air. Whatever you do, though, stay with us because we're coming right back.
Stand with WURD Radio as we continue to provide dynamic, progressive programming to inform and empower our people. We're living in unprecedented times, and we must stand together to protect and preserve Black Talk Media. Become a WURD member with the annual membership price of just $90 or a digital member starting at just $5 per month. If you're already a WURD member, sign up, family member, or friend to help us continue making history. Start or renew your WURD membership today. Visit wordradio.com/4word or wordradio.com/membership.
85 years ago, Independence Blue Cross was founded to provide peace of mind when accessing healthcare. Our first members were employees of Independence Hall. We started where our country started. I'm Greg Devins, CEO of Independence, thanking you for making us the leading health insurer in the region and the only health plan you need to know. Our promise for the last 85 years and the next 85 is to deliver the quality healthcare coverage you and your families deserve.
I need some extra money. Do I qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit?
Use the EITC Assistant tool. With just a little information, this tool helps you calculate eligibility with ease and accuracy, get an estimate of how much credit you qualify for, and get a printout of your results before you prepare your return or visit your tax preparer. To use the EITC Assistant tool and see if you're eligible to claim a credit, visit irs.gov/EITC.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hey there, family. We are back. Welcome back to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Alex Cherin, and we are talking specifically in this hour about his novel titled The Mighty 690. So before the break, I was sharing with you a little excerpt, that was read about the novel itself. Now, I have the burning question for me is, Alex, was there like any research done to find out? Because, okay, let me tell you, when I read this, what I thought about was the fragility of each one of those individuals after the contest. That's what first came to me, because as it shares, they're all participants in the treasure hunt caught between nostalgia and desperation. I can only imagine how broken, how severely disappointed and traumatized, the individuals were from participating in this contest and not having been the recipients or not having won this $50,000. Do we know anything about the individuals after the contest?
So, obviously I know about these characters because I created them. And I did, it's a great question, Carol. And I'm so glad you brought that up because I really struggled with, should I do an epilogue at the end of this book, or should I just stop when one of the characters finds the money or doesn't find the money? I don't want to give
Sure.
And I thought it was important for exactly the reasons you brought up to do a little bit of an epilogue. There is life for these characters after some of them don't find the money. And it's not only that they don't find it, it's the repercussions that come with that. As we all do, we tend to put a lot of stock into our hopes and dreams. They don't come to fruition. There's a very human element that is revealed, and we either go into despair or we move on.
Sure.
I think all these characters, or at least the ones that didn't find the money, are faced with that. And again, these are fictional characters, but they're all based on people that I knew as a child, and certainly right around that time where the contest took place. And you hit the nail right on that. They are all fragile, and fragility. To me, and the way that I observe these characters, at least the people that they're based on, wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it's what made them human, and I think it's what made them unique to that time and place. Southern California, and again, that's my home, so I write about what I know about. Was also a very fragile place, and so
Sure.
to have these characters reflect that.
I want to share that Nicole P. Hello, beloved. She's joining us and she shares, good evening, love and life family. Happy to be here with you all. Welcome, Alex. The novel sounds really, really interesting.
Thank you, Nicole. It is interesting. That much. I know I'm biased.
You have every right to be.
I appreciate that. But, again, I struggled a little bit for people I wanted people to find this interesting that didn't grow up in that time or that place. Because I know, and you made reference earlier to the film, It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. And, so we grew up in a time where we knew, those things, but, this generation maybe doesn't know that. And so
Sure.
I wanted to make it as palatable as I could and as interesting as I could for people who didn't know what Southern California was like in 1981. And that last comment really made my day. So I'm glad it's
good. Well, she actually follows with another comment. She shares a little off topic. She's interested in shifting from her current profession to writing. She shares, I would like to start working on a book very soon. Do you have any advice that you can share?
I have a little tear coming to my eye because this was me asking that question about 4 years ago. And now I'm on the other side of that. And so I take that question very seriously, and I appreciate that it was asked. My advice to you is just write, whether it's a sentence a day, whether it's 2 sentences a day, whether it's a paragraph a week, to just start writing. Get what's, motivating you or what is inspiring you to write out on paper. Doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't even need to be good. It just needs to be on the paper. And so, start writing. That's my best advice.
You said that was a question that you asked about 4 years ago. Alex, I read that your work had been recognized by the Los Angeles Press Club, where you were nominated as Journalist of the Year in 2020. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. And so, it's a lot's happened quickly. I mean,
No, please. I'm so that's my excitement speaking, but please do tell.
Although I was practicing law, and consulting, which I still do. So again, this was always I considered kind of a side gig or side hustle, depending on the term of choice. And in 2017, 18, a friend who was our kids went to school together, happened to be the editor for the OC Weekly, which was a mid-sized publication out in Southern California, and on a whim, just told him, hey, if you ever have some blank space and you're willing to take, a risk on, a recovering lawyer who's never written, let me know.
Right.
And he actually took me up on that. And so, my very first piece was this article, The Mighty 690, but I had 6 or 7 other articles all written about pop culture history in California. And was very fortunate to have asked him that question, and glad that he said yes. And it's a big shout out to him. His name is Nick Shao, and he's an award-winning journalist in his own right. In fact, he wrote a book called Kill the Messenger, which was made into a film starring Jeremy Renner. So if you've ever seen that movie, my buddy Nick Shao, who gave me my break, was the one who wrote that book. He's based.
Wow. Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Nicole P. shares, thank you as well. Malcolm is clowning me. I see you, Malcolm. Malcolm shares that movie Carol is talking about. It is ancient. Yes, it is. It is ancient. But I love that movie.
Hey, I will tell you, it's a great movie in 1963 with all due respect. Old.
That's a good movie, Malcolm. What are you talking about? That's a good movie. And you did not have to put ancient in all caps. You did not have to throw me completely under the bus. Okay. But I love that movie. I so love it. Eric shares, this reminds me from back in the 80s. There was an AM radio station here in Philadelphia that used to do the Ellery Queen Minute Mysteries. Really? The public had to solve the mystery from a clip played by the host for various prizes. He shares it definitely wasn't $50,000, but it was a smart idea to have callers join in. I don't even remember that. Wow. I don't even remember that. Malcolm, you were always clowning me. That is hilarious. Look, I got my eye tearing. That's so funny. I watched that movie. I cannot tell you how many times I watched that movie because it was so entertaining.
Right.
It was so entertaining to me.
No, and I try to. There's a little bit of this referenced in the book in the Mighty 690, but I'm a firm believer in the fact that music, whether it's music or whether it's film or television or whatever your art form is, everything today is just a twist on something that's already been done. And so old movies are great, and every movie you see now, I guarantee you, has been done before in some kind of form. And this is a new artist taking their spin on it. But big shout out to the films of 1963.
Oh, look at that. Malcolm came back under a big W with palm trees. That's right. That's right. That's what I'm talking about, Malcolm. That's what I'm talking about. He said, I saw it too. That's right. That's right. Because it was such a good movie. It was a really, really, I'm so curious. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. You've missed Malcolm clowning me. You've also missed the conversation that we've been having with our guest, our new family member in this hour. His name is Alex Cherin. And I should remind you that if you go to look for his novel, you should be looking for Alexander Hamilton Cherin. I want to be clear on that. That's Cherin for those of you who are listening and are not actually watching. So you know that the correct spelling of his name. But this novel about which we speak in this hour is titled The Mighty 690. And you said that was the station, that was the call, there was the call numbers for the station at the time.
Call numbers of the station, and it's the station itself was around since the late 1950s, early 1960s, and it's gone through various iterations. But yeah, at the time it was the Mighty 690.
So, in your own opinion, what effect would you say this treasure hunt had on just working class people?
I don't know if it's a great question, and I don't know if this treasure hunt was as had it an impact as much as sort of the radio movement did, and this contest was just sort of a manifestation of how important radio was in the late 70s and early 80s. And, it's really, as we talked about at the beginning of the hour, it's sort of really how you identified yourself with other people back in those days. And so, radio stations were everything. And I'm sure Philadelphia was very similar to Los Angeles. You had, at that time, a little bit of a transition in music. So you had, your traditional rock and roll stations. You had, some jazz stations that, maybe weren't as popular as they should have been. You had, believe it or not, in Southern California in 80, 81, you started to have the very beginnings of some, hip hop stations like KDAY, which is still around today, which played music that none of the other stations would play. And did. So you really, radio was important. So to answer your question, I don't know if this contest in particular had as large an impact as did just the radio landscape in the early.
Thank you for that. How about that? I thank you for that. Eric shares, it sounds like the movie Rat Race. They remade it based on Mad Mad World. I remember that. But I love the original. It's a mad, 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 mad world. You've heard me say it about 10 times already. Our beloved Cheryl is joining us. Hi, beautiful. Cheryl Hicks Lucas, that is. And she shares, good evening, family. Cheryl, you missed it. Malcolm was clowning me. And we've been talking with Alexander Hamilton Cherin, who is the author of the book, The Mighty 690. Before I say another word, I'm going to ask if you can share with our family members where we can find the novel. I've been talking so much about it and haven't shared.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you can go to my website and buy it directly at alexandercherin.com, and it's obviously available at Barnes & Noble. And if you have to, you can buy it on Amazon. And it's you do a Google search and it's available on about 10 different sites. But you can go to my website directly, alexandercherin.com, Barnes & Noble, or Amazon.com.
I love it. So family, for those of you who are joining us by way of socials, I did just put that in the chat. So you will see Alex's website listed in the chat. And you know what? I'm going to type the title of the book. How about that? So you say, what did she say?
Appreciate that.
Yes. I'm curious to know, when I read the schoolboy struggling with his identity, and I'm thinking, that was 81. Would that have been sexual identity? Would that have just been him as a human being who just...
It's a great question. So that, without revealing too much, that character is loosely based on myself.
No wonder you shook your head. No, you said no. No.
No, but that's...
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I grew up, we talked about Long Beach, California, back in the day, being a very diverse place. My family I was raised Jewish, and we were one of the only Jewish families, certainly in our neighborhood. And as that ring grew bigger, we were one of only a few Jewish families in the immediate neighborhood. And, that was always a tough thing for me growing up and going to school. And so when I talk about this particular character struggling with his identity, he is very much, what would have been a typical 10, 11, 12-year-old boy to public school in Southern California who happened to be Jewish, and having to wrestle with that and finding out where to fit in.
Sure.
This character is also torn between sort of his religious identity, in the sense that, he goes to a temple, which is way up in Los Angeles. And at this time, he, like many others, now live in the suburbs. And so he struggles with that a little bit too. So when we talk about struggling with identity for that particular character, it really has to do with, where does a schoolboy who's 11, in the suburbs of Los Angeles fit in as a Jew? And how does he reconcile that with the things that he hears and sees around him?
So I'm curious, because of these individuals that were specifically described to us, were they chosen?
That's interesting. I think, I chose them. because I wanted, the 4 or 5 characters that most accurately represented my lens of the way that I saw that particular place and time. And so you've got the character Augie, who is a 80-year-old plus Holocaust survivor who works as a janitor in the temple that Jason, the younger character, attends for Hebrew school. And Augie was very much based on a real life person who was a janitor at the temple that I attended in Long Beach, California. And he was a Holocaust survivor. And, we being naive 10 and 11-year-old kids, knew that he had numbers tattooed on his arm, but never really why or what that meant, or, learn from that. And I always regret it. And so I wanted to do him justice by making him a character in this book. And then Sally Lang is very much based on a single mother that I knew growing up, and she didn't do the things that she's described doing in the book, but she represented a lot of sort of struggling single moms in Southern California trying to realize the dream at the time. And then the motorcycle racer Danny's very much based on a daredevil who I would go see at the Costa Mesa Speedway in Orange County, California as a kid, and kind of represented the thrill and the hopes of, what this sort of prototypical all-American male could be in the early 1980s, and all fallible characters and all relatable characters.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Alex. Family, listen, it's time for us to take another commercial break, but I have more questions for Alex. So stay with us because we're going to continue this conversation when we come back. We'll be right back.
This February, we're celebrating Black History and Love by focusing on heart health. Have you asked your doctor about a stress test for your heart? Stress tests are diagnostic and can reveal problems that might arise while your heart is pumping harder and faster than it does normally. The stress test, sometimes referred to as an exercise stress test, involves monitoring your heart rhythm, blood pressure, and breathing while walking on a treadmill or riding a stationary bike. Stress tests can be used to diagnose a range of heart issues, allowing a cardiologist to see how blood flows through your heart while you're exercising. And doctors can use these tests to help create a treatment plan for a heart condition you've been diagnosed with. Typically, stress tests are performed in a doctor's office or hospital, completed in an hour, and are non-invasive. Before the test, your doctor will ask some medical and exercise-related questions to determine the appropriate exercise. They will also do a physical exam, take your vital signs, and listen to your heart and lungs. Tell your doctor about any medical conditions, symptoms such as chest pain or difficulty breathing, or any physical limitations caused by joint pain or arthritis. Once you're ready to begin the test, electrodes, aka sticky patches, will be attached to your chest. You will also wear a blood pressure monitor on your arm and a pulse monitor on your finger. In some cases, your doctor may want you to breathe into a tube while you're exercising. You will begin by exercising slowly and working up to a predetermined target heart rate. Once you have spent a certain amount of time exercising, usually about 10 to 15 minutes, the intensity of the exercise will be slowly decreased. After the test, your doctor will continue to monitor your heart rhythm and breathing until both return to normal. Once the test is complete, you should be able to return to normal activities. Visit penmedicine.org for more information and resources about heart health. And happy Black History Month.
This is a trusted space.
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 Access free films and resources to build trusted spaces in your schools and communities at atrustedspace.org.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Alex Cherin in this hour, and we are talking about his novel titled The Mighty 690. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I do want to share that Eric shares that this book sounds absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for digging up such a cool piece of real radio history. It really is pure genius for real.
Appreciate
I
that.
love it.
Appreciate that.
So, Alex, I'm listening to you talk with us about the individuals that you chose to share with us. And I'm curious to know, especially when you talk about the gentleman who was 80 years of age, at what lengths did they go to find this treasure?
So, in reality, Augie, who again was based on a real character, had these vivid memories of walking the halls of the temple in Long Beach, California, where I went to Hebrew school, and had this little closet, and he had a radio, and always imagined what he listened to, and if he listened to stations like this, and what would it be like if he participated in a radio contest. And so I really brought that sort of imagination to the book. But in the novel, again, these characters get pretty close, and they go to great lengths to figure out the clues. They fall back on pieces of their own history to figure out some of the clues, and some of them end up being ironic. Some of them just dumb luck, that they figure out where these clues kind of lead them. But I really wanted to portray a novel where people get close to their dreams, and maybe don't realize them in the immediate sense, but maybe some good comes of it afterwards. So as we were talking about, what are the repercussions for the people who don't find it, and I think, like all of us, and again, this is not unique to Southern California and sort of the California dream, as I keep referring to, but a lot of us have to live with, well, maybe we didn't realize the California dream in the way that most people see it, or the way that it's portrayed in pop culture. But we all have to reconcile what the California dream or what the American dream means for us. And maybe even though we don't have the car that's advertised on TV, or the TV family, we've got something that has a little bit more meaning to us individually. And so I really wanted to kind of portray that in the book.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm curious to know about the daredevil, because the way he's described, the speedway daredevil whose bruised body and fragile ego are beyond repair.
He's a great character, and he is absolutely based on a real person. And I'll give you a little bit of a background on that. I was born in 1970, and so starting in probably the late 1970s, my father and a very good neighbor friend would take all the kids on Saturday nights down to the Orange County Fairgrounds. And they had what they called the Costa Mesa Speedway, and you can Google it. It's still around and still operating, thank goodness. But it was a series of motorcycle races done in an oval track, and it's based on a type of motorcycle racing that was very popular in the UK and other places in Europe. And it was ridden; these motorcycles were ridden by riders, and they did 4 or 5 laps. These motorcycles had no brakes. And they ran on ethanol, and so you could smell the fumes from miles away. And it was, it really wouldn't pass safety standards.
Yeah, I'm listening. Like, wait a minute, what now?
So, if you remember, the days of Evel Knievel and Daredevil mentality from the 70s, it really was that, but on a local grassroots level. And we used to go watch with wonder these men right around this track and just hurl themselves into the wall and break their bones and get carted away in ambulances, all for the entertainment of that crowd in Orange County, California. And it was just something special. It was, you romanticize about these daredevils, and that's kind of what it was. So this particular character was based on a motorcycle racer named Danny Becker, who was known for crashing better than any others. And even though we would applaud and just kind of look and wonder, I would marvel at, I wonder what that does to this man's ego, knowing that he's popular for crashing into the walls as opposed to winning races. And he was a good human being, and I was able to hunt down his daughter many years later, and he unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But he was, we all have these childhood heroes, he was one of mine, and so I was very lucky to get to write about him in this book.
I so appreciate your sensitivity to these individual human beings, and I anticipate reading that sensitivity in your book. If you would not mind sharing with our family members one more time where we can find the book and sharing all of the pertinent information with us.
Appreciate that. So the book, the official launch and publication date of the book is actually tomorrow, February 20th, and you can buy the book directly at my website at Alexander Cherin, that's CHERIN.com, or Barnes & Noble, and if you have to, on Amazon.
I love it. He said, if you have to, okay, if you just absolutely have to.
But available now, and official publication date tomorrow.
I love that. I love that. Family, that is Alexander. Well, I should make it clear too when you're searching, because I keep referring to him. I keep referring to our guest as Alex Cherin. But when you're searching for the book, the name you will be searching for is Alexander Hamilton Cherin. So that there are no qualms. I don't want you to say, Carol, you did not tell me. Because we are making sure you know. And again, once again, the proper and correct spelling of his last name is Cherin. And for those of you who are just joining, a short while ago, I did add his website into the chat, but I'm going to say it aloud again for those who might want to write it down. And for those of you who might say, let me see if I can find it. It's www.alexandercherin.com. Eric shares best of luck. Barnes and Noble will have it for sure. They sure will. They sure will. And we can't wait to grab a copy of it. We thank you so much for coming to spending your time, your energy, your attention, your spirit, and your knowledge with us. Alex, we welcome you to the family.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Will you come back to visit with us sometime again?
And anytime. It's been a great discussion, and appreciate you. And anytime you want to have me back, please let me know.
Absolutely. And I'm still stuck on you being nominated as Journalist of the Year in 2020. I'm still stuck. I'm so stuck on that.
I appreciate that. It came as a little bit of a shock to some of my partners at work who said, "Wait a minute, right on the side? What's going on?" So,
I'm sure they did.
Yes, but it was. It really gave me good motivation to keep writing. So I appreciate that.
You know what I should have? That's what I should have asked for the partners and those with whom you work in a completely and totally different field. How they must have been taken aback when they read this or were made aware.
Well, they've been very supportive, and they understand that this is a passion of mine, and it's something I do to relieve stress during from the day to day, and I think in the end it's made me a better partner to them, and it's made me a better consultant professionally, because I feel like I've got my creative outlet and I've been able to do something with it.
Now, I'm so happy for you. Once again, kudos to you for listening to your spirit and following your passion. Like I shared, we are an advocate here, and we are supporters of self-care and doing just that, following one's own journey. So congratulations to you once again. We hope you will come to visit with us soon. Malcolm shares, this was such a great segment and story. So thank you. Again, our family members are enjoying your story. Are looking forward to picking up the book. I don't think it gets any better, Alex. I don't think it gets any better.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So we will see you next time, Alex, right here on Love and Life. Okay.
Carol, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Family, here we are. Family. Oh my goodness. Just praise God. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow, as we wrap tonight's episode. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Just thank you. Thank you so much as you continue to support Love and Life, as you continue to support me individually. Y'all love bugs. I love you. I tell you that all the time because I absolutely mean it. You hear me? Yes, I do. Happy birthday once again to all of our love bugs who are celebrating a birthday. Thank you to the entire WURD family, especially Niall and Nick, for every single thing that you do. What? Thank you to our callers. Family, you know it's coming. You know I'm going to say it. You know I'm going to say it. We are all in this together. Yes, we are. So please be good to you, but please be good to those around you. God loves you, and so do I. Have a great rest of your night. All right. And be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Good night, family.